How is your if we are single by 30, we're getting married friend doing? She's been living a wild life. We made the pact at 22, she got married by 24, divorced by 25, new relationship and got pregnant at 26, married at 28 and divorced at 30. In that time she dropped out of college, went back to college, completed her associates, got nailed for a few drug charges and is currently fighting for custody of her kid with the dad. With us it was if we are still single at 65 let's just move in together, at least we like each other. We met first year at university and have been close friends ever since. She died of breast cancer at 63. Miss her every day. I lost mine as well. We met during high school. I went to her funeral this year. She was only 27. Sorry for your loss friend. I'm marrying him in November. Well, marrying him to another woman, I'm their officiant. D. This actually did happen for a friend of mine and his wife. But it was more of a conversation along the lines of hey remember that pact we made when we were 18 about getting married at 30 if we were both single? Well we are now 30 and single, did you want to give dating a shot? 5 years later and they are now happily married. I have no idea why they didn't give dating a shot years before, but that's none of my business. People change and develop yearly until mid-20s. There's a chance if they started dating at 19 their personalities would have conflicted and broke up, but now that they are adults they would probably be able to persevere through any hardship or differences. My wife and I knew each other at 16, and we would not have fallen in love if we got together at even 18. It wasn't until 24 we gave it a chance and we've been married for almost a decade. People change and develop yearly until mid-20s. There's a chance if they started dating at 19 their personalities would have conflicted and broke up, but now that they are adults they would probably be able to persevere through any hardship or differences. My wife and I knew each other at 16, and we would not have fallen in love if we got together at even 18. It wasn't until 24 we gave it a chance and we've been married for almost a decade. Reminds me of a girl I used to know. Going back to our high school days, she was attractive, smart, and studious. She dressed preppy. She was ambitious and wanted to graduate college with a degree in accounting. She then goes to college, starts drinking, gets into partying, and discovers coke. Fast forward to today. We're both in our 30s. I haven't talked to her in forever, but I still have her as a friend on Facebook. She dropped out of college, had multiple failed marriages, had to go to inpatient for a while due to being suicidal, refers to herself as a Martian, and ended up having a kid with a local no-name rap artist. Reminds me of a girl I used to know. Going back to our high school days, she was attractive, smart, and studious. She dressed preppy. She was ambitious and wanted to graduate college with a degree in accounting. She then goes to college, starts drinking, gets into partying, and discovers coke. Fast forward to today. We're both in our 30s. I haven't talked to her in forever, but I still have her as a friend on Facebook. She dropped out of college, had multiple failed marriages, had to go to inpatient for a while due to being suicidal, refers to herself as a Martian, and ended up having a kid with a local no-name rap artist. We both got married before 30 to other people. She married a cool dude and had 4 kids. They had a beautiful family and so do I. I was genuinely happy for her and glad we didn't end up with each other. She died of cancer a few years ago when her youngest kid was still in elementary school. My heart breaks for her and her family. I feel closer to them than they realize because I knew her since middle school. I think of them often and hope they are finding peace and happiness in this crazy life. I lost contact with mine. Hadn't talked to her in over 20 years but same deal. She married a pretty cool dude, had 3 kids and just an awesome family. Last I heard she lost one of her children at around 13. I feel absolutely awful for her and her family. I also feel like a piece of hit because I never reached out to her. When we were 29 and 31, we decided if we're all alone at 50, we can be roommates. We got married at 30 and 32 instead and got 2 kids now. Over COVID I saw her profile pop up on my Switch, so I reached out to her and started catching up for the first time since I moved away for college. One thing led to another. I asked her if she'd like to move up the timeline on our promise, and we plan to get married next fall at the nice young age of 26. I had a friend in middle/high school that told me we should make a marriage pact. If we weren't married by 30 we'd get married. I lost contact with her after high school because she had a scary jealous boyfriend. She randomly added me on Facebook and asked for my phone number. I didn't think it was a big deal so I sent it. She sent me a very graphic photo of herself and said, "Hey, it's me, Chrissy." And I was like, hot damn. We talked for a bit that day, but that was our only real conversation. She had brought up our pact and we joked about it for a bit. A few months later she messaged me asking if she can use my shower because her water got shut off. I thought that was unusual, so I just told her it wasn't a good time. That's happened to me before, and I'd normally message a family member or close friend. A couple days later she posted a video of her and some dude, not her old boyfriend, smoking crack under a freeway overpass. She had a bandana on her face and they filmed themselves smoking head banging to music thinking they looked badass. I felt really bad for her at that point. Then I wondered if I had let her use my shower if she would have robbed me with her cholo looking boyfriend. Not too long after that her boyfriend started posting online that she was missing and he can't locate her. 2 weeks after that he changed his status to single on Facebook, and I still haven't heard from my childhood friend. I hope she's okay out there. Really hope she can get her shit together and get clean. I do actually have a friend who did this. They reconnected after not seeing each other for a good while. They laughed and reminisced about their funny agreement to get married at 30 if they hadn't met someone else. They did get married pretty quick and were happy, for about a year. Then they spent a couple more years miserable together. Things got very bad and he ended up divorcing her. He's now happily married to someone who seems to be much better for him. I have a friend who says this to me every once in a while. I'd have no problem with that, except she makes it sound like she'd be miserable if she had to end up with me, so no thanks. You keep dating horrible men and I'll watch from the sideline if I have time. He has like 5 to 6 kids. He actually hit me up when we were 30, we're 32 now, and asked about the deal. I was like, dude, don't you have like 5 kids? I was not gonna take on that circus. I have a former coworker that made that pact with his senior high school prom date. Lost touch for 7 or so years. Reconnected at the 10-year high school reunion. Got married 2 years later. Now 2 kids with a third on the way and very happy. It was cool to watch the majority of that story go down. He's married to a gorgeous woman with 2 of the cutest babies I've ever seen. He's a white man and was racist AF in high school, something my hormonal ass was willing to overlook, but now he owns a gym with his best friend who is black, and his wife is Asian. Dude turned around and achieved his dreams in the best way imaginable. Killer combo. Living his best life. And I'm in a long-term relationship myself, so we're both out here just killing it. Met in college. I had a long-term boyfriend, he was single. Became friends. I went to move in with long-term BF across the country. Told each other that if when I turned 30, he's older than me, if I was unmarried he would meet me under the Eiffel Tower at midnight on January 1, 2016. I got to my destination and major regret. Unknown to me he was 2 days behind me following my dumb ass. He called me the morning of day 4 away from him. Told me to meet him at Denny's. I packed up my shit and we have 2 kids and a dog now. He said he let me go so I could figure out my shit myself. He's amazing to this day. He upped his Denny's game and took me to Waffle House Saturday. Well, took me and the kids so the kids could experience the Waffle House while on vacation. We met at an Applebee's. Needless to say, I have a love for shitty food and a good man. This is actually my time to shine. I met Lisa when I was in high school through a mutual friend. Lisa lived about 4 hours, but we kept in touch by writing letters. This was in the 1980s. We met up for a spring break trip at the beach and got along well since we hadn't seen each other in several years. We both went to different colleges and dated on and off some during our college years. After college we dated, then she went to Germany for 3 years. We'd see each other casually when she'd come home, but nothing serious. When she came back home from Germany we started seeing each other again. We made a pact that if we were not married by 30 we'd get married. We drifted apart a bit at 29 years old and we were both dating other people. She ended up marrying the person she was dating and I ended up marrying the person I was dating. We both went to each other's weddings with our respective SOs. We'd meet as couples and go to dinner sometimes and once vacation together for a long weekend. Our kids went to the same school for a while, too. Then we lost touch for about 5 years, until one day I ran into Lisa at a local Starbucks. I heard someone call my name and it was Lisa. We hugged and caught up for a while. I then asked her how her husband was doing and she said they split up about a year ago. She asked about my wife and I told her we split about 10 months ago. We looked at each other and I asked her if she'd meet me for coffee the next day and she immediately said yes. We dated for several years and got married in December 2021. Ours was 35 actually. She lives a few states away. She lives with her ex-boyfriend, because her current boyfriend still lives with his mom. She has an animal addiction. She can't say no when someone wants to sell her a living creature. She has dogs, cats, rats, snakes, sugar gliders, fish, and other random stuff to round out her zoo. She can't work because of her anxiety. Except she totally had a job for like 6 years, but complained through that whole time that she couldn't work. She wants to go on disability, but just thought she could go in and get on it by filing some paperwork and that was it. She doesn't trust doctors, so she has no documented proof of all of her ailments. She is broke, the ex and the current boyfriend pay all of her bills, she sits at home and takes care of all these pets all day, and is generally a drain on society. But she complains about always being broke. So in other words, I dodged a fucking bullet. We made the pact at 15 as a joke. We finished high school, college and moved into early adulthood while he dated other people. I was single until 23 when I met my match, who I'm still with to this day. This year he broke up with his girlfriend because he said he loved me and couldn't be friends anymore because it was too hard for him. It sucks, but I wish him the best.